On my way back to the resort, the water park, whatever you call it, to play tomorrow. Super excited about the game for Ollie. I was really, really proud of him today. Both him and his team showed a lot of resiliency to come back and win that game. And excited to see them play tomorrow. And a big smile on my face as I was driving up to Northfield Park. I thought both fillies we raced tonight here in Ohio raced fantastic. A tough spot to be in with Coupe de Ville. She was a little peggy, and she is anyway. I mean, I just didn't want to come charging off the car with her and put her on the run in the first turn to 4 to 5. How dumb would that be? So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Just let her float off the car, get away where you get away, find some cover. It did work just that way, not the way I wanted. I was hoping that in the first turn that maybe Aaron would cut Chris Page loose, which I knew he couldn't. If he did, it would have been suicide. But I just opted to stay there, just sit there. Do I want to wrestle her away and put her in the 5-hole only to remove her onto the same dead cover I'm on right now? I just opted to float and stay safe, and I didn't know how good Aaron's horse was, and if it happened to be a little flat, I knew she'd still be good, and if she happened to be flat on the front end, the only other horse to beat was really Ronnie Wren's horse that beat us in Miami Valley, so her locked in the 2-hole is actually a good spot to be in. I thought if Chris could keep their flow going, stay at Aaron's wheel, and we could attack at an opportune place, it may be fine. May not be the end of the world. As it turned out, he didn't bring us as far as I wanted, and they went fast, right? Mile 56 and 2 out in 4 turns at Northfield Park. Pretty good mile for Coupe de Ville. It's still early in the season. She's got a lot to do, and I just thought that roughing her up and putting her in a real bad spot, she might have been out all 4 turns, but she wasn't really tested that hard. She got a little tired because of the distance she went. But she at no point was she hot or crazy. I love what she's doing right now, and I opted to try and turn kind of a crappy trip into the best situation we could. So opted to sit there rather than attack, and as it turned out, she ended up 3rd best tonight, but raced very, very good. And even Smoking Hot Irish Girl, going around the first turn, I could see that Ronnie was trying to force his way into the hole, but I knew what was going to happen. If I don't let him in, he is absolutely going to go. Which way do you want me to go here? Akron, Cincinnati. I think I went the right way, I believe. If I don't let him in, he's going to go 27, 55 and suck every ounce of soul out of that filly that is in her. And I thought, I'm just going to let him in. And hopefully they go a little softer fractions for her. I did let him in. The fractions were still a little hot, and they still did stretch her out. But you know what? She come back on, fought through the inside in the last turn, put a step in, and trotted hard down the lane. She touches that, I want to say left hind, but I think it's actually a right hind. Just standing on the cross ties. Which way? That way. It's her right hind. She touched that right hind up high in the middle of the boot, and she's put a bruise on there. I'm just wondering, trying to think. I haven't talked to Jason or Blacksmith or anything about it yet, but I'm just trying to think, is there a way we can get her out of there? If we do tinker with the shoes, it has to be ever so slightly. And I think maybe the first place to go is just to add a little more grab to her. Maybe it's the fact that she's spinning off that surface a little bit. The track in Scioto's a little deep. The track at Northfield's a little deep. She only has 2 toe corks on a steel bar shoe, so it might be worth maybe putting a line of borium in between those 2 corks, or adding 2 heel corks, which isn't generally what you do in the summer, but for what we're trying to do right now, it may make all the sense all the sense in the world. So no major changes. I think Jason has a pretty good firm grip on both those fillies. The one filly, Coupe de Ville, was knuckling over a little bit tonight. I know last time we do treat her for EPM quite a bit. She is a filly that it does appear to help her a little bit. So I believe we'll continue on what we're doing with her, I suspect. And when it comes to Smoking Hot Irish Girl, just an ever so slight adjustment to her present shoeing. No changes with any of the shoeing, just as I said, just a very slight adjustment, I think, and we'll see if that helps she'll let us know. There's no way to truly know if it will help until you race her the other way. And if she's no better, it didn't help. So that's the trial and error when it comes to something, a horse like Smoking Hot Irish Girl, and an issue like that. It's going to be trial and error. And I think first stop would be adding a little grab, not taking it away. And we'll see if that helps her out or not. I thought the filly, Brian Loney's race good that I drove. So a good night at Northfield. The only flat part was Cunning Connie. And, at the end of the day, Cunning Connie's just not a very good horse. She's okay. Somebody said, well, she made a lot of money at 2. Well, yeah, because she trotted. She did her work well. But at the end of the day, she was never a very fast horse. I think she's going to be an okay trotting filly. I think she's going to do okay in the Prospect Series for whoever potentially buys her on Tuesday. And she may even follow along and do okay in the grassroots. She was off 2 weeks tonight. But let me know land, speed record set from Cunning Connie in the near future, I don't think. So, I believe, well, for sure, Landing Strip. I don't know what get into whoever's bidding on him already with 2 days left in the sale. But at least 2 people in North America want him real bad. So, and he's a nice horse. He's going to do them good, whoever gets him. But a little surprised that he get up that high. World for 2. I don't think there's any shocking changes there. He's going to have to bring 20 or 21,000. We're not going to give him away. He was hitting the bike the other day, put a wider bike on him and race him a little more conservatively, and I think we're going to do very, very well in that class for however long he can stay in there. But there's no need to just dump the horse. He's still a useful horse when we have him in proper, in a proper bike. And that's not Tim's fault, by the way. That horse raced in that exact same bike the week before for Stacy, so I don't know whether it was that he needs to be shot or did get shot or the surface itself, I'm not sure, but he went from not hitting the bike to hitting the bike. We'll just put a bigger bike on him. We won't have to worry about it. And then when it comes to Connie, she still has value. It's not like she's a worthless animal. She has value. She is a sound filly. She is going to do okay in the Prospect Series and likely follow along if somebody wants to race her in the grassroots, but she is what she is. So I think that's that. That was a decent night for us. A couple of thirds, and they both raced very, very well. Tomorrow, big day for us tomorrow. A lot of horses in at Mohawk. A lot of them are in tough still. There's no gimmies tomorrow. But Swinging Senorita, I think 7-hole, actually in a decent spot with her. Couple of the good ones drew the outside also. There's some horses in the middle. There's not as much gate speed, certainly not as quick as she can get off the gate. So I think she's in a good spot tomorrow, actually. So we'll see what we can do with Swinging Senorita. Jason said she had a great week. She's coming in good. A super busy week for us all week long. And I think the pinnacle of this week will be the qualification of Pickpocket and Arson. Jason actually thinks he's going to put a few more horses into qualified at school the other day. I'm perfectly fine with that. So we may go from actually 2 to 5 babies qualifying on Tuesday, some additional ones, a whole bunch of them the next week, and then we'll start qualifying in Ontario also. So this is a cool time of the year. All the babies are starting to get really ready and ready to go. The 3-year-olds are racing good. We're having a pretty good run, and I hope we keep it up. But my focus tomorrow morning will be on Oliver. I hope he does good. Can't wait to see him play. It's going to be a very, very exciting day tomorrow morning. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys had a great day. Obviously, you can tell I did. I will talk to you all very, very soon.